guys? This is Christian Metalhead Brotherhood, and here to do another Christian metal vlog. Today we're going to kind of talk about just the difference between Christian metal and secular metal, and how like a lot of metalheads are like, why is there Christian metal, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do this. So basically, the only difference there really is between Christian metal bands and metal bands is basically the message and the heart of the band members. There isn't really much of a difference in sound of the music or anything like that. Like Christian metal is basically sort of like an umbrella genre, basically, just for any kind of metal genres. Like there's Christian metalcore, there's Christian deathcore, there's Christian death metal, there's Christian black metal. So yeah, basically there isn't really a distinct sound for Christian metal. It's basically more the message that really makes Christian metal Christian. Another thing is like the intentions of the band members and like where like why they're doing what they're doing. Some Christian metal bands in the past have like said they're Christian metal more for money and stuff like that. Kind of like the thing that happened with As I Lay Dying. They weren't ever really a Christian band. I mean, they have great lyrics and everything, but I think to make a Christian metal band, you need more than just like the message. I think it's more like the hearts of the band members and like why they're doing what they're doing that makes a Christian metal band. And that's really like the only difference between Christian metal bands and metal bands is basically, the heart of the band members and, what their intentions are and why they're doing what they're doing. Some Christian metal bands are very straightforward about their message. Say like Impending Doom, you can always find like a solid like Christian message, that's not very hard to find in Impending Doom songs. They talk about spiritual warfare a lot when you think about it. Like the message should be either, like the band telling like their story or using their story to inspire people or different things like that, or, worshipful lyrics, praising God and stuff like that. So that's like what, Impending Doom is like, is very just straightforward about, the message and praising God. Then there are bands like Fit for a King, which aren't as like straightforward with like a Christian message. It's more like relatable stuff. Not that Impending Doom isn't relatable, but like more like they write more about like their story, like what they might be struggling with, while they're writing it. Like just different struggles as a Christian and questions, and I think a lot of Christians question their faith all the time, and that's kind of how you grow. You question whether it's all real or not, and sometimes Christian bands write about that, and that doesn't mean like they're not Christian, that they're questioning their faith and everything, that they're just struggling. They're just being honest about their struggles. So yeah, there are some Christian metal bands that talk more about like what's going on in the world and stuff like that, and like try to bring recognition to things like sex trafficking and slavery and stuff like that. And also just like the band Phineas, like their latest album was called Dark Flag, which was about like the corruption and the slavery and stuff like that going on in North Korea. So yeah, there's a lot of different Christian metal bands, with different style of lyrics and stuff like that. And these bands don't just write, that kind of lyrics. They all do different things, but like just to kind of give you an idea, like Christian metal like isn't just like all worship. There are Christian metal bands that just talk about their story or their personal struggles or what's going on in the world and stuff like that. If a band is like truly Christian, then I think their intentions would be more towards glorifying God in any way they could, whether it's like, the different things we talked about, like telling their story and using that to inspire people, or just worshiping God, or talking about like things that go on in the world and quoting scriptures and just giving, giving God's message that God gives to them, whatever it may be. Whatever they do, whatever style of lyrics, I think it should all reflect, trying to glorify God and proclaim His word and make His name known and make His message known and the hope that we have as Christians known, and just to bring that hope to a dying world. That's basically the goal for any Christian metal bands. That's why there's Christian metal. Pretty much any genre of music, really, there's going to be Christian artists using that style of music as a ministry. So that's why there's Christian metal. Some people are like, why is there Christian metal? Metal is, the opposite of that. It's about devil worship, which it's not. That's stupid, and it's really annoying when metalheads say that. Because most metalheads don't even really pay any attention to the fact that the devil is real, let alone worship him. So that's just a stupid stereotype, and I think anybody can be a metal artist and give their message, whether they're Christians or a different religion like Muslims, or like August Burns Red band members. They were all Amish, which that doesn't really mean anything, but people music, the metal is about just being passionate about the music and using that music to tell your story, basically, whatever it may be about. So yeah, I don't think there's that's pretty much the only real difference between Christian metal and metal is just the Christian message, basically. So yeah. Sorry guys, this was kind of a shorter vlog video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and comment below if you have any ideas for topics you would like me to talk about in the next Christian metal vlog. You can also ask any questions you have for me, and I will answer them in a Q&A video. Also, I'm starting to work on my next album for my solo project, so if you care, go and check out my Bandcamp page. You can download any of my music for free. And if you can, just set your price and donate whatever you're able. Any money made on my Bandcamp page will go towards funding my next release. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay Christian metal forever.